Hey. Come here. Come here. Ow! Go up on the bed. Up on the bed. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. We're here again this weekend to talk about me. Kidding. But I have been asked to do a mixed girl tag by some people that I know, and I'm looking forward to doing it. Sometimes people ask me or tell me, you should do a video like this because it would be really cool. So today I am here to do a video about being mixed and how I'm mixed and what's cool about being mixed. So if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about me after, that dog's shenanigans that I just got into, then keep watching. So for those of you who have known me for several years or know a little bit about me from conversation, my mom is actually from Denmark and my dad is from Florida. How did they meet? If one was from across the globe and one was from Florida, well, I'm going to tell you. My dad was born in Florida, but born into a military family, so he was, constantly all over the place. When he got old enough, he finally decided to join the Air Force, and after joining the Air Force, he got stationed out or had to go to Greenland, something like that. I don't know the full depths of it. I've never really asked them, but he went out to Greenland because he was in the Air Force, and when he went out there, my mom, I guess, was like a nurse on base in Greenland, and that's how they met. God, fuck this chair. So my mom usually explains it as, when she very first saw him, she was head over heels, wanted to get to know him and tried a few times to get to know him, but he was like, nah. So I guess a little bit after being around each other and everything, they fell in love and, a little bit later on got married, and then I came into the picture, but I was not born in Greenland. So they decided, or how did this happen? So they got married on base in Greenland, and from my understanding, they decided to move to England, and they were living there and had a place and everything. And my mom was close to, her due date, and my parents decided that they wanted me to be a U.S. citizen. They flew to Colorado, and I was actually born in Colorado Springs, very close to when you're not allowed to fly because you're so close to popping your baby out. I was born here, but 2 weeks after I was born, we flew back to England, and I lived there for the first 2 years of my life. And no, I do not remember it. I don't know if I had a little accent or whatever. I don't even think babies talk for no, I don't think so. But we did live there for 2 years and then decided to come back to Colorado, which I thought was pretty interesting and cool. And ever since then, I have only ever lived in Colorado, and I've grown up here. We used to live further down south near the Citadel Mall, for those of you that are from Colorado and know where that is. And then we moved to the Briargate area, and then we moved to the Monument/Palmer Lake area where we are currently living. I would say that I grew up the majority of my life here because we moved into this house when I was 5 and now I'm 20, so we've been here for about 15 years. So I'm a Colorado native, without a doubt. Another big question that a lot of people ask me, because my mom is from Denmark, is if I am actually fluent in Danish. And no, I wish that I was, and but I'm unfortunately not. And I always ask my mom, why was I never taught Danish? Why didn't you teach me? I can't talk, I can't do anything like that. But I understand where she's kind of coming from, because my mom was the only person in our household that spoke Danish. My dad does not know how to speak Danish either. And because she was a nurse and worked so much, it would be really hard for her to try to teach me Danish on the side when I'm with my dad, and it's not spoken in the household either. So it was just, too complicated. It would be too hard to try to teach me how to speak Danish, even though I really wish that I knew how. But I am in the process of learning, and I say that sparingly because it's kind of on and off. I'll like learn for a little while and then stray away from it and then come back to it. So I'm more of a better understander at what people are trying to say to me, and I can somewhat understand conversations that people are having rather than actually being able to like speak back. And I also think that's because the older you get more nervous trying to speak another language that you never grew up with to other people, especially because you're afraid of being made fun of because you're not saying something right. So future reference for any of the food or anything that I talk about in this video, I'm not even going to try to say the name because I know that my family from Denmark is probably watching this and I don't want to be made fun of when I see them next time that I said something completely wrong or pronounced something. Another question that I get from a lot of people when they meet me is, have I actually gone to Denmark? Do we visit Denmark? Blah, blah, blah. And the answer is yes. We go to Denmark, I think, every like 5 years or so to visit family, or they will come out and visit us. And it's a really great opportunity, and it's awesome, and it's my favorite place to visit and go to, and we are actually getting to go there in July, and I am so stoked about it, and I'm actually going to try to do some vlogging out there for my channel so you guys can see what it's like. And I am just so excited. I can't handle it. We haven't gone in so long. It is so beautiful, and for those of you that don't know where Denmark is, it's kind of small, but it's next to Sweden. So I know that on Facebook, a really popular video is the subway or a train that goes underwater between Denmark and Sweden, and I've definitely been on that before. It's really cool, but no, you cannot see the ocean while you're underneath because it's like concrete, it's just dark. But it's really cool. It is next to Sweden, and I do have family in Sweden as well, so that's a cool side as well, and I'm really excited to go. But another big reason why we are going out to Denmark in July is because my mom is able to get her dual citizenship back, and we are very excited for her. She became a US citizen about like 8 or 9 years ago and was not able to have dual citizenship because of laws and rules, regulations, whatever, but they've actually changed that. And it's exciting, and I'm excited for her, and I'm also going to talk to them about keeping my dual citizenship because I will lose my dual citizenship if I don't claim it by the time I turn 21. I'm not even going to get into it, but I am just like, so excited. So another big question that I have been asked about was, what ethnicities have I been mistaken for? And I wouldn't even say that I've been mistaken for very many ethnicities, but the ones that I do get mistaken for, I'm kind of like, oh, I would have never thought that. So one of the bigger ones, or the actual ethnicity that I get mistaken for, is Hispanic. And I never thought that I looked Hispanic, but I know that a lot of Hispanics look very different. They can go from like very dark to like very pale and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure, but apparently I have the ability to look Hispanic. That is one ethnicity that I've been mistaken for, and the second one isn't even an ethnicity, it's just really weird. So I have also been asked if I am like sickly pale, but I go tanning on a regular basis, which I feel like I would almost be like a prodigy of like tan your hide if I was able to achieve this color and look so natural from tanning, and I don't know, but I totally understand it at the same time because a lot of African American people don't have eyes like I do. I have blue/green, whatever eyes, and that's not very common, so I get it. It's a little bit confusing. And something that was actually like really interesting that I found out about my family, I kind of like broke it down by myself, and it was like mind blown when I found this out. So I'm gonna break it down for you. I promise that it'll make sense when I'm done. So my grandparents have 4 children, and my grandpa is the only one that has blue eyes, like my dad and myself. My dad was my grandparents' 3rd child, and out of all of his siblings, he was the only one that got the blue eyes like my grandpa did. My dad was previously married before he was married to my mom, and he had 2 other children. Neither of them had blue eyes. I am my dad's 3rd child, and I got blue eyes. So what I have taken away from this is that if I ever want my children to have blue eyes, if my significant other or my husband has brown eyes, which is kind of leading that way, that my husband is going to have brown eyes because of my boyfriend. If I want one of my children to have blue eyes to carry on that gene, I probably have to have 3 kids, which I'm fine with because I've always wanted between 3 and 4 kids. So that's cool, but I thought that was a really interesting fact that I kind of like broke down. So moving on from that, a third question that I always get asked is, was growing up with different backgrounds any different, or like was there something that was significantly different about it that you noticed? And there is yes and no. So because I was born in America and because my dad is from America, you know, I don't have anything that's like significantly Danish or anything like that. So I am more American like in my behavior than I am Danish. However, there are some things that we do in our family that are completely different than, you know, average everyday. And one huge example that I usually tell people they're like, whoa, that's really weird, is how we celebrate Christmas. So my mom in Denmark, they usually celebrate Christmas, I believe, on the 24th, and they'll open their presents that night and then wake up in the morning and spend Christmas Day just eating and making food and spending time together. So that's a little bit different than how we do it here. We celebrate Christmas on the 25th here. That's our American part of our tradition. But our food wise, so a lot of people that celebrate Christmas in the United States will have like, I don't even know because I've never really had it on a regular basis, but I know there's like ham and turkey and like, what are those called? Like green bean casserole and, you know, all that kind of stuff, which sounds delicious, but that's never been how we've celebrated Christmas dinner here. So for Christmas, normally we will have duck for dinner, and for those of you that have not had duck and you're like, ew, duck, what the heck? That sounds disgusting. It is so good. Like, it is insanely good. It's like an addiction. So we usually have duck, we'll have small white potatoes that are covered in a caramel sauce, which is just delicious, and then we will have red cabbage, and it's kind of like a rice pudding but not a rice pudding, and it has like vanilla and it's very creamy, and it's, oh god, it's so good. I actually asked for it as my birthday like replacement for my cake because it's so good. And usually the tradition with that is that you'll have like an almond and you'll put it in the dessert, and everybody will eat it, and the person that gets the almond in their food gets a prize at the end. There is different things that we do for different holidays. Like, for example, we celebrate 4th of July because my dad and I are, you know, US citizens. We were born in the United States, whatever. But my mom, when she, you know, obviously first came here, like that doesn't really apply to her. So there are different things that we do and what we don't, and like football is really like a huge thing for me and my dad, and my mom's kind of like, okay, football, but that means soccer in a weird way. But yes, to answer your guys' questions, growing up with a different background is definitely different. So another big question, one of the biggest questions, is how do I identify myself? And that's not like, oh, well, I consider myself an introvert or an extrovert or anything like that, but I am an extrovert, just so you guys know. I identify myself as mixed. I have never really identified myself as one or the other because I think it's a really good privilege to know that you're mixed and identify as having equal parts of both. And I think that that is kind of like a beautiful thing to, you know, have so many different parts to you that you are like aware of. So for some people, I know that you have to do like that ancestry.com type thing because you are curious to find out all the different parts of like, who are you, what is your background, where is your family from. I'm lucky enough to pretty much know the two biggest parts of my life are Danish and being American. However, a more, I don't know, not emotional, but like a real side to it is that even though I identify as mixed, and I've never just seen myself as like I am solely an African American because I have brown skin or anything like that, the world around me will always identify me as a Black individual. Even though I do get mistaken for other ethnicities and it's kind of hard, for the majority of it, I will always be seen as an African American woman. A lot of things that are going on in the world, I'm not going to get into politics and you know how the world is going and everything like that, but I think it is very important that you know what are you seen as to the rest of the world. You are able to know the difference, that you are not just what other people label you as. I am proud to be an African American woman. I'm also proud to be part Danish, and I think that I get the best of both worlds and I get to experience the world in a completely different way than other people do, and I'm very blessed to have that. But I think the biggest part of this is just to love every ounce of who you are, because if you weren't part this or part that and a big mixture of everything, you wouldn't be who you are. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching my mixed girl tag video today. I am very excited for other videos that I'm going to be having coming out soon, and school is almost over, so I'm going to start loading them up. I'm going to go walk this dog that just cannot seem to leave me alone while I'm filming. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, message me, do whatever, and let me know what you guys think of this video. I would love to get to 100 subscribers by like April if I can, or like by the end of April. Stay tuned, and I will have some other interesting videos for you coming up within the next couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much as always for watching, and I will see you later.